I'll be talking right here.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you can adjust it. Like, I like to sit back a little bit. Hell, I've only done this a couple times, but there's the intro music. It's official.
Jump right in.
That's right. All right, you good? Got your coffee, got your water?
Yep.
Good to go?
Good to go.
Okay, I got a little intro I'm going to do here. All right. Hello, miners, and welcome to the 4th episode of Mining in the Foothills, where I'm on the search for dialectic gold with doers from around the Midwest. I am Wes from Wally Opus, and my guest today is Lucas Washington, lead singer, and like Rylan Cox from my first episode, another founding member of Southern Indiana's most exciting, most happening, and most rock and roll band, The Strangers. Lucas and his bandmates just returned home from an unforgettable show at the Troubadour in Los Angeles, California, where they were crowned champions of the DW Presents Battle for the Big Stage. Their prize? A slot playing the main stage at the 2022 Louder Than Life Music Festival taking place on Sunday, September 25th in Louisville, Kentucky. I must also mention on that day that they'll be sharing the same stage as Dirty Honey, Alice in Chains, Incubus, and the Red Hot Chili Peppers. They have 2 main stages, I looked, but similar shit.
Same thing.
To name just a few, there's going to be a bunch of other people there that weekend, but they're playing the Sunday slot. So anyway, along with singing lead vocals for The Strangers, Lucas is the primary lyricist, writing most of the band's lyrics to their original works. Lucas is a native of Santa Claus, Indiana, and like his bandmates, currently resides where the Strangers are based, right here in Evansville, Indiana. So, thank you, Lucas, for joining me on Mining in the Foothills.
You're welcome.
All right, so Lucas, 2 weeks ago, I had your guitar player, best friend Rylan on the show, right before you guys left for LA. So he was telling, like, we talked a little bit about the preparation, a little bit about the contest up to that point. Also, for people who want to learn a little bit more about the Strangers, I talked more about their album and their release show and stuff during Rylan's episode. But moving on from that, so now that you're back from LA and you fucking won, which still blows my mind. I have a little video on my Instagram if people want to see my reaction to it. But for people who don't know, tell me a little bit about what the Battle for the Big Stage is, how you found out about it, and how the hell you guys won.
Okay, so let me start about how I found out about it.
Okay.
I have been going to Louder Than Life for years now, or at least a few of the past recent years, like have been canceled, things like that. But
yes,
whatever. So I've been
the ones that have taken place.
Exactly, yeah. So I've been following the festival pretty closely for a while now, and it's something that I've always kind of wanted to be a part of. So I followed more like I'm trying to think of the best way to say it. It's like I've instead of just following Louder Than Life, like I always
you did the promoters and the
just follow
people
them
behind the scenes.
Yeah. So there was this social media post of like band submissions, and it just was like called Starving Artists or something. They were doing at the time it was
this like a couple years ago or something?
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
This is a while ago, and at the time it was like a different competition. It wasn't necessarily to play Louder Than Life, but they do like competitions and things all the time, and like have bands play on their Twitch streams and things like that. So
DW Presents does?
DW Presents,
okay.
yeah. And DW
That's
Presents,
Danny Wimmer.
Yeah.
Who puts on Louder Than Life, Bourbon and Beyond,
Aftershock,
and he was at your show.
Yeah, he was at the show at the Troubadour. Yeah.
Yes.
And so I've known about this Starving Artist submission thing or whatever. But I always wanted to wait until I felt like we actually had a legitimate chance.
Yeah.
So first off, we had to have released music, right?
Okay.
And so now we do.
This was the first year that you had that.
Yeah. And then even like beginning of last summer, I don't know, a more recent time when we did have released music, I could have submitted, but it was to like open for some metal band was the competition. And I just didn't think it was, well, I thought I might attempt, but at the same time, I felt like we were in a place where we just had our own tour starting and everything like that. I didn't want to put a bunch of effort into that just yet, right?
Yeah.
So whenever this tour was kind of coming to a close, I was like, well, let me look back through that. And I think now it's a time whenever we need to look for something new. So
yes,
I thought,
because your personal tour was ending.
Yes,
you played all your summer shows.
Yeah,
what's going what's going to happen next?
Yeah, exactly. So I went back to the Starving Artist forum, and this time I was scrolling down and it says to play it louder than life, and I was like, well, that's like what I want to do, so let's do it. And so I went ahead and I just it's an easy Google form, and I just filled it out. So then it was like, it was a little bit confusing. I never knew how many. It doesn't really tell you how many bands or like what your likelihood of even getting noticed is or anything like that.
Yeah.
So I went ahead and just got Twitch and everything. And
when did you submit this? Like in July? Because this all took place in August and ended on August 28th.
Yeah, it was
like
June or July. I mean, some point over the summer, June or July at some point.
Okay,
I don't really
so it was
know.
a while back.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I mean,
did you submit it, then kind of like just go about your life for a bit, and then it came up like, and then they contacted you saying like you're in the.
Yeah.
shit?
So whenever I submitted, I didn't know how the DW Presents Twitch channel really worked.
Yeah.
So like now I feel like I've watched it enough throughout this competition to where like if we went through something like this again with them, I'd kind of be in the loop of things.
Yes.
I understand the schedules now and things like that. Prior I didn't. So
Same.
I just kind of just got on their channel and I'm just confused as hell because like they had two different things going on. It seemed like there was like an unsigned band chart, which was like, I don't really know what that does other than put bands on the chart. Like,
Yeah,
I don't
I've
know
seen
if
that.
Yeah. So that's what I was watching at first. And they were just like opening up bands and I was just watching it and I was like, well, we're never going to get picked. Like this isn't, but little did I know that wasn't even what I submitted to. Like I was just like confused, So then, I watched that whole stream for like a couple hours, this unsigned band chart, and we didn't show up. I was like, well, they're just probably not going to pick us. There's so many bands, whatever.
Yeah.
So over the summer, I made a lot of walking sticks. I just kind of picked
which
up,
is your like part-time job or however you want to explain that.
Yeah, kind of.
You make walking sticks.
Well, I make canes for my job.
Oh, that's right. Sorry.
But then I started to make walking sticks just because like I just like them really, and then I want to sell them. I have a shit ton now because I made them all summer. But
it's hilarious.
Yeah, I mean they're like polished and everything. Like,
I know
nice.
They're probably nice as fuck.
They are pretty. Yeah, they are pretty nice. So if you ever want to go on a hike, just let me know.
Okay.
Okay, but I was making walking sticks one day, and then I just get a notification because like all this like after you join that Twitch stream, you get all those stupid notifications that are like someone gifted you a subscriber, or someone gifted you an emote or whatever the hell.
Yeah.
So I got one of those, and I hop on. And then I'm just watching it, and they're just, it's like this, it's battle for the big stage bracket. And what this stream is it, holy cow. I think I just said is 5 times in a row.
That's all right.
What it is they would show the bands, right, that submitted their forms. And then the chat would just say yes or no. And yes, meaning they want them to move on to the bracket.
What did they show? Just the name? A picture?
No, when you submit the form, you submit a song. Like you submit a YouTube video.
Okay, yeah.
But it's only a minute 30 clip of it. So I submitted For Your Lies to start with.
Cool.
And I was just sitting through that stream, and they had bands like picked out, like ready to go pretty much. And then at one point, I was just like, yeah, like I didn't have anyone get on this stream. It was just me. And I didn't expect to be played because at this point too, now like whenever you chat, you can see them. They look at your chats and they respond.
Yes.
But like whenever you're like freshly new to a big stream like that, you think you're just gonna say something and no one's gonna notice.
Yes.
So
dude,
I
they
just
see
kept
everything.
Saying, yeah, I know.
You can't talk any shit. You'll get kicked out right away.
No. Well, what I did was. I put play the strangers, play the strangers, play the strangers. And then I would say play the strangers, and I would type it like 5 times in a row. And then I would highlight it, copy and paste it. So now it's 10 times. And then I would highlight that and copy and paste it. So now it's 20 times. So I would do that like 8 times in a row. And then there would be like hundreds and hundreds play the strangers just in their chat.
Yeah.
And I mean, it would take up like 2 or 3 paragraphs worth of.
Dude, that's
I have
amazing.
a video on my phone where
That
I would
is so
scroll for
funny.
like 20 seconds straight of just play the strangers. But eventually they look at the chat, and I think it was Bobby, and he goes, "Is there a band called The Strangers? Let's just pick a band from the chat. Is there a band called The Strangers?" And then Jake was like, Jake. So for the people listening,
for people who don't know, these are the hosts.
these are some of the hosts that host the stream that we're talking about.
Yeah, the DW Presents Twitch.
So
Space Zebra, some shit.
Yeah. So then they're like, yeah, Jake's like, yeah, let me look it up. So he pulls up The Strangers, us, and they play Fear Your Lies the first minute and a half. And I'm like, Dad, get on right now. So just me and Dad are on, and they play.
What were they playing? Was it the music video? Like did you put some film, or was it just literally the song?
It was the song with just the album background. It's still
okay.
picture.
Okay.
Yeah, because at this point, like, okay, I'll just continue.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. Keep going. So it's just you and your dad.
Yeah, so just me and my dad, we play it, and everyone in the chat's like, "This is groovy. This is nice. This is nice." You know.
Wow.
And giving me this vibes, you know, all this stuff, all cool stuff, and you know, so we got a yes. It was a majority. So the way it works, you have to have over 50% yes to go through to the bracket.
Did the voting thing come up and people choose yes or no?
Yes, and they just use yes or no.
Sweet.
And we were so there was only one more band after us, and we were in the final bracket. So we are the second to last band out of 128 bands to be entered in this competition.
Oh my God.
So we're this close, you know.
God. So after you guys got voted in, another band got voted in, and they closed.
Yeah, because they only
bracket.
had they were only going to accept 32 bands. So once they get to that 32 mark, basically the way they were doing it is they would play a band.
It's 32 per month for 4 months.
Yes.
But you didn't know that at the time, did you?
No, I didn't even know there was multiple months.
Yes. Okay. So you were only one of 32 bands that day that got picked for the August bracket.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, and so we got voted. Okay, yeah, the way it was working, that's what I was going to say. The way it worked was they would play a band, and if they said no, there's a majority no,
yes.
they would just keep going until they had 32 bands.
Yes.
So there's only one more slot after us. So
were they surprised when you guys got in? Were they like, oh shit, okay, cool, glad we pulled them up?
They were, definitely, because this is a majority metal competition.
Right.
And I mean,
heavier music all around.
They even made a note at the time saying, you know, I'll be interested to see how far this band goes, because the chat usually likes, you know, metal, right?
Yeah.
So,
which is funny because, just a side note, I feel like having watched all the streams after that, all the future streams that you guys were in, I felt like that the host kept becoming surprised every time. Like every time you guys would win something else, they'd be like, holy shit, who's the Strangers? Where are they from? Santa Claus? Where the fuck is Santa Claus? Is that a real place? Like, you know, like they just kept becoming surprised. So, okay, so you make it into this 32 bracket. So now you're on the bracket, and then the next live stream, you submit a music video, right?
Okay, so
another song with the music video?
Yes. They said...
Which you put together really quickly?
Right. So whenever we get into the bracket, it's, oh, holy shit, what do we do? Like, how does this work? Like,
yeah.
You know? So and at that first time, I thought it was going to go through the whole bracket so we would know if we played Louder Than Life that day. Like, I was confused the whole time.
Yes, okay.
Like, I thought they were just going to keep narrowing it down on that stream, and then it would get to the end of the stream, and then there'd be like, oh, there's the final Sweet 16 the next time, and the next time it's the final 8, then the next time it's the final 4, and then, oh, you're actually playing the Troubadour, potentially, before you go to Louder Than Life. So.
Right, it kept developing, and it's like, wait, what?
Yeah, I thought it was just, you know, submit a song, and they keep narrowing it down, the winner plays Louder Than Life, but I'm glad it wasn't that easy.
No.
Because, I mean... Yeah, so I'll get into that.
Now you're glad it wasn't that easy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, even at the time, I really don't think we would have won if it was
just
that
based
easy.
off that. Yeah.
So, it was so I was like, all right, I need some visuals with the music because that's what seems to be helping a lot of bands.
Yes, I
get
remember
the
you
votes.
saying that. Yeah.
So I was like, well, what can I do? So I remember there's a lot of film from the Astor Theater show.
Yes.
Various films, and I was like, okay, well, I had just recently edited my first video using Adobe.
Okay.
And I was like, so now I'm capable of this. I'm just gonna go do it right now.
Yes.
So I stayed up, for like 6 hours at night, didn't go to bed till like 5:30 a.m. And I made a quick little music video to, I think Sweet Holly was our first one.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. And then we were going against a band that had 30,000 Instagram followers, like 100,000 monthly listeners, something like that. Like
yes.
Something crazy. And I was like, I don't know, guys. I'm a little worried about this one. But at this point, I still wasn't expecting to really win. I was just like, honestly, just being in the competition was like, holy cow, we're really like we got entered in. Like,
right.
I was amazed by that alone.
Did you at this point were you asking your friends to get on and vote?
Yeah. So we were like, I was like, guys, I mean, I was asking everybody I knew, but this is before we came up with legitimate strategy other than just text everybody real quick,
Yes.
Because we're all still confused too. Like no one really knows what's going on. Thielen and Rylan are like, what competition is this even?
Right,
you know?
Because nobody had done anything yet except you were just submitting shit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then so now I'm like, all right, everybody, this is what's going on. I get on, and this is at least what I think is going on. The whole time I was a little confused, even until
because it's unclear.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you've been watching other brackets or something, maybe then you would know. But yeah.
Well, yeah, literally, even until we got to the Troubadour, I was still like, prior to the Troubadour, I was like, so what's going on,
Yes.
But,
so it's the 32 one. It's a music video. Everybody, you go through 32 bands. It's head to head. It's like a literal March Madness bracket. You get voted in the stream.
Yeah.
And it goes on to the next one. And we watched that one. We voted. Okay, you're in the next one. So now you're in the Sweet 16.
Yep. And then now.
So then another week goes by.
Yeah.
And you have to submit another one.
Yes. So I believe it was either the Sweet 16 or the Final 8. There was 2 rounds in one stream.
That was that one. It was the Sweet
Final 8.
16 and then the Final 8 were in the same stream. And then at the end, there was 4 bands.
Right.
For the August bracket, which then it turned to a live performance.
Yes. So so the Sweet 16 and the Final 8, I had to submit 2 videos.
Yes, yeah.
And I think we did Dead and Dazed is the full video. Okay, so I took Fear Lies again, and I used, because the first round was only a minute and a half.
Yeah.
And the next one was a full music video. So all I did was I clipped a portion of Fear Lies, so I didn't have to make a music video for the entire song when they're only going to play a portion. And then I just used the back half of the song. And then, so I made a quick little music video for that, and then I made a whole music video for Dead and Dazed using more Astor Theater footage. But I try to get creative, I try to use different effects, where it would be like a looping effect or like a boomerang effect, things like that. So I could use the same clip for a longer period of time within the video, and it would create like cool visuals and stuff. And it almost looked like my idea with it, at least. I mean, I don't know how much this really came across like to the viewers or whatever, but I try to kind of like take one idea for a video, being that first Sweet Holly video with the footage I had, and then evolve that. So like whenever it's getting to the Dead and Dazed, it's like an evolution, the evolution of videos with the submissions. So it's like you're just seeing something a new flavor to what you've already like been familiar with, kind of thing.
Which was a good idea.
Yeah.
Because it would have been too much. There wasn't enough time, and it would have cost too much to literally make new music videos for each song. And at least you did that editing, because some bands didn't even do that. Some bands didn't even have videos.
No, my idea behind this was as soon as we got to that first round, I was in the mindset of we have to literally do anything to increase the chances, right?
Yeah.
So I need music videos. I need to get, this.
Yeah.
And we were getting into the later rounds. It was really like okay, now how do we get more people to vote?
Yes.
So we printed out hundreds of flyers with QR codes.
Yeah.
We contacted all kinds of local news sources. We got all kinds of local news coverages. I mean, news stations, papers, radio, you name it, just social media articles,
literal just reaching out to people.
Right.
With direction or instructions on how to vote.
Exactly.
Text messages.
And Caden and I would actually type out a whole paragraph of, okay, this is the rules and everything. And it says hey, this is what you do. So I would copy and paste that. And then I would just say right after, yeah, that was pre-typed, but it has all the rules. Just please help us.
Just use it.
So it felt a little more real at the end because I'm trying to genuinely ask people, but at the same time, whenever you want to text, 100 people you knew from high school and your old friends and things like that, it's, you don't want to type. So I had to do something, copy and paste. It was just more efficient that way so I could reach more people. But it wasn't it wasn't that I didn't want to be genuine by any means.
But you genuinely,
seem like a robot.
You genuinely needed help.
I know
we need
did
freaking voters.
Exactly. So it was that, and it was okay. Now I'm gonna tell my family. I'm gonna tell my mom, okay, here's a bunch of flyers. You go pass them out at work if you can.
Yeah.
All anything we could possibly think of. Rylan's mom works at a school, so we gave her some flyers. She passed around school.
Yeah.
It's getting Rylan's brother to tell everybody he knows. My sister goes to the high school, so tell a bunch of people in the high school, tell all your friends. It was a huge group effort. We had a big group
which is always the way the Strangers stuff is.
That's
it's
true, yeah.
A hometown group effort. Always. Well, that's what you guys have versus the people with 30,000 followers and 100,000 monthly listeners.
Exactly.
Personal connections, to people who really do support you.
Yeah. So whenever we were in this competition too, what I like to do whenever we're involved in things like this, even though it hasn't happened too many times.
Sure.
I try to also do my research so that, okay, this is my mindset. This is now a game, and I'm a player in the game, so I have to win. Or I don't have to win, but I have to at least try to win, Yeah. I have to go about it strategically, and I have a hard time with competition sometimes because I like to think, at least, I'm pretty empathetic. So I'm always like, man, I don't want to beat somebody, that kind of thing.
It's tough with music too, because
exactly.
It's not like a basketball game where it's whoever gets the most points wins. It's whoever gets the most votes, but it's based off of it's based off who the hell shows up. Like we said, you guys could literally get on the live stream and fart in the microphone, and as long as you have enough voters, obviously that kind of goes against the rules, but I just mean it's all about the voters in this case.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
and everybody wanted to play the main stage like you guys did,
Yeah. And also anybody that voted, it's their win too, because there was multiple rounds and everyone had a committed amount. If they would have got on and just voted and voted and voted, and then after we get to the last round and it's just a dud, that just kind of would have been lame for everybody and not just us, So I'm really happy we won for us and for everyone who helped us, because now it feels like it was a community,
effort.
Yeah. Exactly.
Win too.
Yeah.
But you have these, so you're in the final four, but the final four is now you have to live stream a 15 minutes performance on Twitch against 3 other bands.
Yeah.
And you had to end up doing that twice. That's what we were saying earlier. It's you kept finding out, I got to do the next thing. But we did that down here in the studio, but you guys played one weekend, came back the next, did it again, won both rounds. Mm-hmm. I think you won both of those pretty big.
Yeah.
The margin
every
was
round
80-20. Yeah. 80% Strangers, 20% the other band.
Every round until the actual Troubadour show.
Yeah.
It was not even close. And I really think that was the only, it wasn't, if we hadn't. So I knew going into this that a lot of bands, they just submit their songs because a lot of them are from big cities and things like that. So they just submit.
LA, Orlando.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They submit, see how far they get. With us, it was tell every single person you can possibly think of in your brain.
Like, and nobody else around here was in the competition, so it wasn't like you were directly competing. Like, there was like 3 or 4 bands just from Orlando.
Yeah, but I actually talked to the Breed guys about that. Breed is the other band we went up against at the Troubadour.
Yeah.
So I saw that there was a show poster with like Breed, Sid Stratton, I think Under Substance, I don't know.
Yeah.
Some other bands that were in the competition with us. And I was like, so I didn't realize you guys knew each other. So you on a show lineup. And I believe it was a singer I was talking to. He's like, oh, no, we don't know who they are. There's just a promoter in Orlando that was watching the stream, and he knew they were all from a similar area. So they're like, let's pull everyone together for a show. So that actually makes me feel nice about winning, too, because Breed they got as far as we did, except we beat them by 12 votes at the Troubadour, but they got something out of it that we didn't as well.
Yeah.
So even though they lost, they're still going to Louder Than Life. They're on a different stage. We're on the main stage. They're on a side stage. But they also had another show out of this. So I feel like it's pretty equivalent.
Yeah.
And the votes at the Troubadour were like a 12, or it might have been a 16 vote difference.
Yeah.
Which is
I mean, like,
insane, actually.
It's like, there's like 482 to like 468 or something, or 66. Like, it was like 900 votes, you know what I mean? Or even more. But it's like, when you're only that, dude, watching that live stream, I was shitting my pants. I had to leave the room. I'm like, Chloe, I can't watch this shit. Because the votes were just going, and I'm like, oh my God, the Strangers are still ahead. But it was like so 51% to 49, like boom, 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 boom.
And
God,
I'm telling you,
it still gives me chills, dude.
I'm telling you, like, going back to, I treated it as like almost like a game. Like, it was kind of hard to actually appreciate to a full extent when I was there, because the whole time you're in Los Angeles and you want to go, and like, we went and saw the Hollywood sign and saw like Capitol Records and some really cool things, but it was just that the whole time I know this is a competition tomorrow, and I'm just like, Louder Than Life is one of my, has been, last year we did right before the Astra Theater, so I guess this year we did a little interview with Scratch FM at the Jasper High School, Jasper, Indiana.
Okay.
And he asked us, like, what's your dream venue? And I just go, Louder Than Life. And here we are. You know, so it meant so more to me. Cool. You know, it meant more to me than just if it was Aftershock or something. I would have been so stoked. But Louder Than Life specifically means more to me than other festivals or other events. You know, I go every year. It's always, every time I've been there, I just look at the stage and I'm like, man, I hope one day.
Yeah.
And that's been kind of
nuts, dude.
Yeah. So it's really surreal feeling.
Yes.
So literally I was like, normally what happens is the second band is more successful whenever you have two bands go against each other in a battle of band situation.
Right. Okay, hold on. Let's go back one step.
Okay.
So you win the live stream down here in the basement. You become the champions of the month of August. So then you have to do the other 4 bands. Mm-hmm. You win that night too. So now they say, okay, in 2 weeks, we all thought, oh, you won the Louder Than Life. No. In 2 weeks, you're going to fly out to LA.
Yeah.
You're going to play at the Troubadour at Bobby, what's his last name?
Bobby's Birthday Bash.
Yeah, it's called. Bobby, the live stream, Bobby's Birthday Bash. He's a Twitch guy. And then the Strangers get flown out for a weekend to play this Troubadour show, which the Troubadour is an epic venue.
Which, one of the most iconic ever.
Yes.
Like, yeah. I don't know if I can think of a rock and roll band that hasn't played at the Troubadour.
Right. And that's like since the early, like late 60s, early 70s. Like,
yeah, and the big bands like Guns N' Roses will still go back there to play.
Yeah, Elton John still plays it. Well,
I think actually Elton John, that was his first show in the United States was at the Troubadour.
Okay, all right. Because he has some special connection. I did like a little bit of reading on the Troubadour before your show. And saw his name. Well, even like recently, Greta Van Fleet.
Yep,
it's a big one it's played there.
Guns N' Roses. I mean, they go back there.
Guns N' Roses. Yeah, that's insane.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Any of them really.
Yeah. So you go play this show, and there's a couple other bands there that night, but you guys fucking open the night, that's why I think you were gonna start to say it was like, you had to open the night at this epic venue that you never played before in LA on live stream. You have to open it, then Breed plays second.
Yeah.
But anyway, so you guys...
So the headlining band was a band called Crown the Empire, and they're actually pretty successful. Like, I had heard of them. I mean, I had a few friends in high school that loved them. And so, I mean, they're a successful touring band, but I knew they were pretty heavy, at least way heavier than the Strangers, right?
Yeah, sure.
So Breed, I also knew was pretty heavy. So, I'm like, the people coming for Crown the Empire are probably going to be voting. So they're probably going to like Breed better on the sole fact that, at least, I mean, not necessarily, because some people might just think Breed's a better band in general, which is totally fine. But if they like metal,
music.
Then Breed suits their taste better.
Yes.
So, and then I also knew that going second always helps. If you can watch it helps, and sometimes it's bad.
Yeah.
Going second. So, and during the live streams, we went second a lot of times when we were going head to head to a band. And every time I said, turn it off. Like, I don't want to hear the band that plays in front of us.
Yeah.
For a few reasons. One being, if I think they're amazing, I don't want that getting in my head, affecting my performance, thinking, I have to try harder now. No, I just need to be myself in my singing, right?
Good.
And I also don't want them to be terrible and I think get some sort of ego, because that's just not good either,
Right.
And not that I would, it's just I don't want to even come close to it. So I just
separate yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Separate myself. So I didn't even listen to them. So in a live setting like that, they can watch our performance though. I don't know if they had any of this kind of mindset, but like things we didn't do, now they can do because I know we didn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Certain kinds of chants, and getting on top of speakers and things like that.
Sure.
And
the energy that they brought was like a lot more like that. Like the lead singer was like yelling at the crowd and like, "Come on!" Like like you guys, like you weren't up there like, "Come on!" You were just doing your thing. You guys were like you were performing your music.
Right.
I was watching a Stranger show.
I always like to do get the crowd involved.
And you did some of that.
And I
clapping
do, but the way I am is I like, or I enjoy to, and it feels more right for me to do it more subtly than just being like, there are so many major artists even that are constantly like getting the crowd involved and just constantly telling the crowd like, clap your hands, and constantly saying, let me hear you scream, and in between songs, during songs,
Yeah.
And I've always felt like I just need a couple special moments. Like, I want people to watch us and just kind of absorb our performance, and it almost feels like, this might be weird to hear, but I want it to almost feel like we're not with them. So then whenever I do make like my contact to the crowd, it feels more meaningful.
Yeah.
It feels like more special. Like, okay, now we like really, like, I felt like I've been watching these people, and now I feel
now
like
they're
I'm
talking
with them.
to me.
But it took a sec to get there, and I don't know if that
well, that's the difference between you and like somebody who has a front man who is screaming and like constantly talking to the crowd. It's like, you guys, like, you're the front man, but you guys are all in the band. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of just jam sections. There's a lot of lead guitar solos. Like there's a long drum solo a lot of days. And like Caden has his moment with Natural Forces. It's like every song, like every set that you guys play, it's not just you and then there's a band behind you. It's everybody is in the band, I imagine Led Zeppelin was probably, I never seen them in concert, but you know what I'm saying? Like, all the musicians are really fucking good.
Right.
And
everyone is held to their own pedestal. Mm-hmm. Like, bands like Led Zeppelin, like...
Sorry, we're playing footsies.
No, it's okay. I kind of like it.
Just making you more comfortable down here.
Yeah. But, like, bands like Led Zeppelin, like, there are plenty of people who say... Robert Plant's the best singer, and Jimmy Page is the best guitar player, and John Bonham is the best drummer, and John Paul Jones is the best bass player, and John Paul Jones is the best keyboard player, and all together they're the best band. My goal isn't necessarily to be considered the best band ever, but I want in our band, for me, it's important for everyone to have their own pedestal. And I think that is the way, like, all of my favorite bands are like that, you know. Guns N' Roses, Axl Rose, everybody knows Axl Rose. I mean, not just because of the name, just because he's an iconic singer. I mean, like, in personality, whatever. But then everybody knows Slash, and he's his own
brand
animal. But then Duff McKagan is an iconic bass player, and then some of the other guys, you know, they had lineup changes, but at least those three, you know, even like the original lineup of Guns N' Roses, everybody, like, you know, it's not a front man and his band.
Right.
And some bands that does work, like Soundgarden, for instance. I don't think anybody knows the guys in Soundgarden other than Chris Cornell.
Yeah,
you know?
That's true.
And Chris Cornell's like an absolute legend.
Yeah,
but
that is true, though.
You know, it's same with like Pearl Jam. Everybody kind of knows Eddie Vedder.
Yeah.
You know, and the other guys, you might know, you know.
But even like the Chili Peppers, like they're like everybody. I feel like if you know the band, you know all the members kind of equally, and they share the music and the stage. I feel like I've not seen them play, but I've seen videos. Like they share it in an equal place. Like Flea's crazy, and John Frusciante kind of just does his thing, and Chad Smith's a fucking beast back there, and yeah. But anyway, so that's kind of like that is how you guys are generally. So going first that night, that was the vibe that you had. You just did your thing, right? You know what I mean?
And that was I tried to do what's authentic. Yeah. So I even
I'm glad you did that, because like if you would have came out there like putting on a front just because you're in front of what you thought was going to be a heavier crowd.
Well, not only that, but we're in front of like Danny Wimmer is one of the most powerful industry people that there
in terms
could
of live
possibly
entertainment for rock music.
He could literally
he might be the guy for live entertainment, rock and roll.
No, metal and rock, I think Danny Wimmer is at least one of the guys, you know?
And if he likes you, he can literally get you on the stage at his festival.
Yes.
He can literally say, I'm going to do that.
Start your career.
Yeah.
I mean, he could just keep, like, Dirty Honey, for instance. I don't know what kind of handle Danny Wimmer had in Dirty Honey, but when they were starting to get big, how I found out about them is they were on the Louder Than Life lineup, and I looked them up.
Yeah.
And then I started following them, and you look, and they're on Louder Than Life, and they're on the Aftershock lineup, and they're at lower levels, but they're being thrown at, they're doing like a festival loop. They do a festival tour, you know? So
many of which are Danny Wimmer's festivals.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because they're on Louder Than Life this year.
They are.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's actually where
and it's similar to you guys, or you guys are similar.
We're on the same day as them.
Yeah.
They put us on the rock and roll day too.
They did.
And that
Thank
is
fucking
great.
God. Dude, when I looked at the lineup, it's like, okay, Sunday has the Chili Peppers. It's got Dirty Honey, Incubus, kind of.
I don't know Incubus too.
I know.
Well. I'm kind of.
I know their hits. I've seen them before, but
I kind of was waiting until I see them live to like. I want that to be my first exposure. Sometimes I like to do that with bands.
Yeah.
But what's really special about this day, and it didn't even really hit me until I think Marby might have mentioned something. Marby's Rylan's mom.
Yeah.
We're on the same day as Alice and stage as Alice in Chains.
Yes.
And Man in the Box, their biggest song, has been extremely special to us.
Oh my God.
It kind of feels like another star aligning.
It's Noah's dad's go-to.
Well, it was one of Noah's favorite songs to play with us was Man in the Box. Yep. And that's yes. And that's why at the benefit show,
yes,
we played Man in the Box again. We brought it back. And at this point in our musical journey, it doesn't really fit our sound, but it needed to be played. It needed to be played for us, to revisit that. And James came back on stage with us. Yes. James Warney is from a band called In The Basement, and he played our first show with us. He was one of Noah's best friends.
Yeah.
And I guess for those of you who don't know, Noah was one of our original
he was your original drummer.
He was our original drummer. I meant to say one of our original band members.
Yes.
And he unfortunately passed away. So we did a show to honor him, and we raised some money for a scholarship in his name. And then James, who's one of his best friends, that actually played the first concert with the Strangers.
Yes.
Just because we just like, yeah, hop on, at the time. Nothing was, everything was loose, and we're just trying to like
and you can always throw in
out.
another guitar.
Right.
Like, you just have a lead guitar anyway.
And he's so fucking good too that like he just hops in and he just knows what to do, right?
Yeah.
So he played the show with us again, and we brought back Man in the Box. And Man
I think
in the Box.
did you say it was? Did you point out?
I said, Billy, this one's for you.
Yeah, Billy.
Billy is Noah's dad.
Yeah, and dude, woo! Like he was so fucking
because
excited.
every show he's been to, can you play the Man in the Box? Can you please play Man in the Box? And sometimes we're like, no, we don't.
Not tonight, man.
No, but
we got 4 songs.
We hadn't played that song since the last show with Noah.
Oh, really?
Rockport. Yeah.
Oh, shit. I didn't know that.
At least, I believe that was the last time. I don't think we ever played it.
Did you play it at the Astra Theater?
No.
Okay.
We did not play it at the Astra Theater. And we didn't play it at that Dale Fall Fest we did with Thielen.
And not all summer. You didn't play it all summer. You played mostly originals all summer anyway.
Yeah. I mean, we didn't want to play that song anymore. There's a lot of covers we used to do that. Well, for a couple of reasons, sometimes you just don't want to play the same songs over and over, especially when they're covers. There's like infinite amounts of songs you could do, so might as well just switch it up. Keep things fresh. When people come, they see new songs.
Yep.
So,
and in the beginning too, you play like a huge array of songs because, like in the very beginning, when you're just founding the band, you don't really even know what your sound is yet. So it's just like we'll play whatever everybody likes.
Yeah, that was a part of it. Like, first couple shows we did Smells Like Teen Spirit, which is a rule. You don't play Smells Like Teen Spirit, But we did. And of course, like...
It's such a cover band song to play.
And I even fucked it up so bad. Like, the second verse, I was like, shit, I forgot the lyrics.
No one cared.
No one cared, but whatever, Part of that, too, is... I'm almost glad that it happened that way because I feel like that's my personality, like messing up. Like even at the Troubadour show, there was a bit of a complicated situation. Normally, whenever I'm facing the crowd, to the right of me is Caden, and to the left of me is Rylan.
Yeah, bass on your right, guitar on your left, drums behind you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so we do this little part in our new song.
Which works out perfectly.
I think so too.
Yes.
Yeah. Where it's like, we're the Strangers, and on drums we have Thielen Atterbury, and then Thielen starts. Yes.
He starts the drum beat, which is how the song goes.
Yes.
And then
Caden jumps in with the bass. He goes, zoom, doom, doom.
So you go on the bass guitar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But whenever I sit on the bass guitar, I'm used to Caden being on my right. So I throw my arms and point to the right, and then Rylan's over there, and I was like, oh shit, actually he's over here. And then I was like, and then next usually I say I'm Lucas Washington and I'll be your vocals because I have a little bit of time before the guitar comes in, but I don't want to say it right before I sing, right?
Yeah.
So then I said, and Rylan Cox, oh shit, wait, actually Lucas Washington vocals and then Rylan Cox on guitar.
Yeah.
And it was a bit of a mess, but at the same time it was like, it showed, like I said before, like
you're real
being
people.
authentic. Like it doesn't actually, like, people enjoy that more. Like they like seeing that you're a real person than like getting pissed off at little things like that, or like, being it's good to joke with yourself because it's rock and fucking roll,
Yeah.
So,
and it's not like it didn't change anything other than like, I mean, the song kept going, the music was great, and you started singing and it took off. But when you did that, we were watching the live stream, I knew, I'm like, oh, it's fucking habit. That's like muscle memory. You threw up your arms. You look over, oh shit, he's on the other side. It's just like, that's what he's used to.
Yeah. And there's all kinds of lyrics too, like that is muscle memory like that. You just do
did
them
you
over
mess
and over.
Up a verse? I think you sang a verse twice on
No. I didn't.
Okay.
At least I don't think.
Okay. I shouldn't call you out.
No. I'm curious. On what song? Fear Lies, maybe?
Maybe. I don't remember. It was a second. You only sang half of it was like a second verse, and it was the first half. I think you sang the first verse. Like you like repeated the first verse. But then you switched it at like halfway through. I think.
Yeah, but you don't know which song?
No, it was like halfway through your set. It was like Sweet Holly, or I don't even think it was
Dead
Sweet
and
Holly.
Dazed, maybe?
Maybe Dead and Dazed. Yes,
Maybe.
it was fucking Dead and Dazed.
Did I actually do it though?
I think so.
Because
you should double check.
I can't. This has been frustrating. I have not. They didn't post the stream.
Oh,
so
really?
I can't actually watch it. Every day I've been checking, and they have. I feel like they're just not going to post it now. But
So they didn't post
anything
anything from the Troubadour after the show.
Well, there's some little clips.
Okay.
And they're only like 20-second clips, so there's like very few of our performance. Like so.
Oh shit.
I haven't been able to actually watch the whole performance. So
it could be the situation.
Which is good and bad because we rewatch like anything we can. Because like a good way to improve is to listen to yourself. And a lot of singers especially don't want to do that because you get self-conscious. You feel weird listening to your own voice. Even if you did like a stellar performance, it's still weird hearing yourself. You don't know if you should like it because you're listening to yourself,
Yes. So,
which I've grown to actually love myself vocally a lot more than it's because I've been growing it, just have a different mindset, a different maturity over it. But
you're owning it now.
Right.
Yeah.
But also sometimes
just finding it.
I think like leaving things in the moment is also good sometimes too.
Sure.
Like there is a problem and it's kind of like runs deeper than just us, more like a societal problem where everything is recorded.
Yes.
And especially moments like a concert where you're really connecting with people, having that real human reaction.
Sure.
Sometimes hitting the note perfectly and going back and like thinking something of yourself
taints the moment that you remember.
It's not what needs, that moment was so special and sometimes for your mental health and for it's just good to leave it there.
Yeah.
But that's not to excuse anything.
Sure.
Like you need to improve, right?
I kind of feel that way about the Astra show though. Like the album release show you guys did at the Astra Theater in Jasper, the hard drive of the audio, it got fucked up, so we lost all the audio, which was like at the time a really big bummer.
Yeah.
It was really sad because it was like it was like the best show to date, like a full show. Everybody was going nuts. Everybody was in the front of the theater. It was awesome. And we lost
our first concert.
Really, yes. Your first concert that you were headlining. It was your show. Yeah. You had lights. You had a cool theater merch. Yes. You had all this shit, opening band.
And, we were like 10 tickets away from selling it out.
Yeah.
And
356
still
seats.
It blows my mind because it was, like you said, man, like people came for us.
Yeah.
And that is so special.
Pull that a little closer to your...
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
People came for us, and that is so special to me.
Oh, yeah. And people had your shirts on.
Right.
I mean, like, so at your theater, or at your show, which this happened in March, I'm up there, I introduce you guys, and I run off stage. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get a beer. So you guys start playing. I go outside. There's nobody in the concession area. They're all in the theater. So I was like, I'm going to have a beer. So I ordered a beer. And then I knew that my family and my friends were up in the balcony sitting. So I walked upstairs, and it was like such a good feeling, like knowing that like all the work is done. Let them play. And then like, that's all we're doing right now. And so I went upstairs and I found my friends and I sat between my two best friends and like just took in the moment, drinking this beer, watching you guys play. And then my buddy hits me. He's like, dude, look. Well, okay, no offense to anybody. He goes, dude, there's some hoes dancing out in front of the stage. They were the band moms.
And to go back to... yeah,
hold on.
Keep going. Yeah, my bad.
Then I stood up and looked. I'm like, oh, there's a couple people. But you really couldn't see who they were. It was like kind of far away and it was dark. And then I look again. I'm like, oh my God, there's more people. And then by like your third song, you're like, all right, come on, don't be afraid. There's people up here. Like, feel free to come up and dance. Right. And then like over half the people in the downstairs, like in the main level, got up and went and stood in front of the stage for the remainder of the show. It was fucking awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Everybody was so into it. And to leave it there and not have it on recording, to go back to what you were saying, that is a thing. That's something I'm okay with. Like, I'm cool with it. Because now the memory is so beautiful that I'm like, I don't really even care what it sounded like that night. Well, because everybody fucking loved it.
Right. But I'm at a point now where, with that specifically,
sure.
I wish the recording, because we watched the whole video because there was an iPad. So I know what I sounded like. I know what the whole band sounded like.
Yeah,
We've already analyzed it all.
I did watch that, but I kind of forget how it went.
Yeah, I kind of don't want to revisit. Well, only because like I grew from that already.
Right.
So
you guys you're like a different band now, even than in March, you know?
Yeah, I think so.
You played like probably 30 shows or something since then.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Oh, yeah. To go back to what I was saying earlier, like messing up.
Yeah.
Whenever the Astor Theater show, the first song we did was Goon, and I has like, you know, everything there was dramatic. This is a real thing for me, you know?
Yeah.
Everything was dramatic effect. I'm going to make this like a real performance, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not coming out with the band. I'm going to like make my moment, right?
Right.
Whenever the vocals,
which,
you know.
in the beginning, let's just say we shut the lights off in the theater, smoke machines on, what was that song? What's the intro? The
Mandalorian theme song.
The Mandalorian theme song. So it's this epic, adventurous theme song. Their logo's playing with some clouds, and then it's like, and then here comes the band. They do like a rumble, and then they start in. Here comes Luke. So then here comes Lucas.
It's freaking amazing, like chord, like everyone's so excited. The song starts. Everyone's like, "Whoa, this is actually really cool, right?" Well, I come running out. Well. And keep in mind, okay? Keep in mind.
Oh, God.
Keep in mind.
I'm watching it in my head.
Before the show, Rylan, at least I think, and Thielen insisted, we need cool rugs. It just makes the stage look so cool,
so
you know?
Like 5 fucking
So we need
rugs.
rugs. So there's rugs fucking everywhere. And I was a little worried about the rugs because, like, we just never have rugs. So I was like, but, like, I was like, yeah, rugs are cool, though, so whatever.
It'll look cool.
So when I ran out, this stupid-ass rug, I literally, like, I ran out, and I literally thought in my head, holy shit, I cannot believe this is happening. I'm literally going to fall off the stage into the crowd. Like, I literally thought, like...
Because you were running.
I saw my life flash before my eyes, okay? I was like, oh,
I'm so glad you caught yourself.
I know, me too, because if I didn't, like, I don't even know what I would have done. I would have been laying on the ground. I'm like, well, I guess I got to go
you
perform
might have got
now,
fucking
you know?
hurt, dude. It's like a 4-foot drop.
Well, not only me, but I could have put somebody else in the hospital.
Yeah.
You know? I was like,
my God.
I literally thought to myself, like, and it's amazing. That moment made me realize the amount of thoughts you can have in a split second.
Yeah.
And
that's
how
true.
Because
it happened. It happened within like literally half a second.
Right.
You tripped over this rug in the center of the stage and kind of grabbed the mic and like caught yourself right before you fell off the stage.
Yeah. And so I stood back up. And I just like, you know what? It is what it is immediately because look where I am, you know?
I know.
But immediately though, that's a real person. So not upset about it, you know?
Exactly.
It's a story to tell, a memory, and you know.
And dude, it wasn't like.
It's me too, you know? That's just kind of shit that happens to me.
You did not, that's the thing though. You did not try to play it off like that didn't just happen. You're like, fuck.
And then I even like immediately after we started doing Heart Full of Soul, and I was like, you know, let me step away from the mic stand. You know, it's cool to do like put your one foot up on something. You know? So I put it on this monitor, thinking that it's fine. Well, then the monitor starts wobbling, and I was like, whoa, shit, I'm gonna fall again. Like, okay, I gotta quit falling over. So collect yourself, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm just a clumsy person in general, and I didn't know it. I didn't ever want to admit that, but I just am. So whatever. At this point, you know.
Own it, dude.
Yeah, it is what it is.
It is.
It's fun sometimes.
I wonder how tall the Louder Than Life stage is. I'd hate to fall off that fucking sucker.
Very, very tall.
Probably like 8 feet or something.
I'm not going to get too close to the edge there. We'll be good. We'll be good. I'm a lot better at being conscious of where I am.
Sure.
Because...
And that night, dude, you were so excited at the Astra. It was just like... of explosion. Here he comes. And then boom. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that was honestly amazing.
But then you turn around and have an epic fucking night, dude. At the Astra. Everybody had their phones out and like it was beautiful.
And moments like that.
It was awesome.
And then people will like the sound guy, he never heard us prior. I don't even think he looked us up.
I don't think so either.
He walked over to me right after the show and he's like, you did a really good job, man. I'm like, thank you. He's like, no. Like, I think that's the future of rock and roll. And I'm like, oh, thanks. I really appreciate that. He's like, no, I'm serious. And I was like, holy shit, dude. I'm like, well, that's fucking awesome. Like, I didn't even, like, I was like someone you can tell when someone's just saying, good job. And like, they know you did good, or maybe they're not into the music or something.
Sure.
But you can tell when someone's like, holy, like, no, I'm serious. Like,
yes.
This is something else. And that's what really makes me feel like that this is where I belong. Like, this is where I feel like this group of people belongs together.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm hoping Caden listens to this, but whenever Caden said he was going to college, like, prior to him actually making that decision and like going to college far away, prior to making that decision, it was like, we knew it might happen. So
right,
it was
because he just graduated high school this year.
And everybody's, whenever you get to that age, I totally understand.
Sure.
You know, it's his own life, you know, just like anybody's. If anybody really feels like in their heart they have to do something else, like, everybody got to go on their own path. Like, you know, you can't, even
and
just in a relationship.
At that time, you finished up your tour.
Right.
At the end of the summer, he had an opportunity to possibly go to LA to college for music. It's like,
this is before the competition.
It's before the competition. The future of the band is like kind of, it's not up in the air, but it's open to just like, well, whatever happens next happens. Or there's like this for sure thing in LA. So I understand the decision, the cross in the road. Like, what am I gonna do?
Right. So my point is, in saying that,
he didn't go to college, by the way.
No, he didn't.
At least
he's
not yet.
Not yet. Yeah. Which is
he's here.
Yeah. Exactly. But the point of bringing that up is, prior to him actually making that decision of going.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't understand the gravity of it, because we had thought it might happen, but we didn't know. And like, if it does, you know, we all still want to pursue it. And it makes sense that he, you know, wants to do something else. But, so we'll have to, you know, probably find a new bass player. Maybe Rylan and Thielen or me can do some bass things until, you know, as far as recording, take a little break from live performances until we find someone. Or maybe we just have a fill-in for live shows and the three of us will just be the writers or something like that, you know? But then whenever he actually sent us the message, I was like, it actually like sunk in. I'm like, this doesn't feel right. Like, it just doesn't feel like, it didn't feel like it was supposed to happen, you know?
Yeah.
And that was something new for me, I guess, because everything until that point, like every milestone we hit, it felt like it was supposed to happen until this is a new kind of, which it makes sense, because, you know, this is like a negative, and the rest a lot of them are positives. Obviously, Noah's death didn't feel like it was supposed to happen, right?
Well, but you like losing that bandmate was not expected.
Thielen felt like it was supposed to happen given the past.
Right. And really, I mean, shit. It's like when Noah passed away, the future of the band was so up in the air. It's like, is this thing going to continue? What's going to happen? What does it mean? Everybody was like halted and kind of in shambles for like, you know, a while. And, you know, still like everybody's still moving on in their own way, like coping with it. But like, I think that the best way that you got, like the way that you guys handled Noah's passing was the way to handle it. It's like, I know that people have given me feedback, let's call it, that the quality of the record could have been better. And I know it comes down to, well, we used demo drums. We used drums recorded in Rylan's grandma's fucking living room 2 years ago, or whenever that was, a year and a half ago, like a long time ago, and we used them, chose to use them because Noah played them, and then he passed away.
But once people know the situation,
the story, yeah,
I think then they listen to it, and it just makes everything feel right.
Yeah.
Whenever I still listen to that album, just because, and I mean, still, I mean, it's our album, right? But I will go to it just like because I want to listen to something. I'll listen to our own album because it captures something and it's so meaningful to me that nothing else can, you know?
Yeah.
And so,
well, and the further away that I, like, at least for me, I listened to like half of it this morning when I dropped off my son, and like when I listen to it now, I'm pretty far away from it, you know, like we're like 6 months out of the release. Like we've been working on it for like a year ago, you know, like it's like a long way. It feels like it's like kind of far away now. A lot has happened since that record. And when I listen to it now, I can kind of listen to it detached so I can appreciate it more. Like, for example, and I was going to say this anyway, but like when I listen to your vocals, I don't hear them the same way now that I did then.
Me too.
Like when I hear them now, I'm like, damn, these sound good, dude. Like, not that I didn't think they sounded good, but when you're so close to it, you don't know whether it's good or bad. You're just like, this is what we're making.
Especially whenever you're the one singing.
Right.
You know, but
I mean, we did a lot of vocals, just you and I, in this room, that we're in right now. So
and
it's like,
you also
hard to
saw
judge.
you watched me grow as a vocalist. So as I was getting better, you know, it's hard to notice these things until
it's subtle, but like yeah.
But the thing is about bands, especially rock bands too, is I mean, how many times have you listened to a rock band and you listen to them, right? And at first you're like, I don't really like the singer, and then you just like listen to them more, and you're like, it's weird because you listen to it now and you're like, I don't know how to hear it differently. Like I like him so much now.
Yeah,
you know, it's like a weird, and especially
dude,
rock
I did
too.
not like Greta Van Fleet in the beginning.
A lot of people didn't.
Yeah,
but now like on their new record, especially, she just sounds fucking awesome.
Yeah,
but
I know he's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
What's his name?
But at first,
Andy?
No.
Andrew?
Josh.
Josh. Yeah. Is one name Andrew?
No, it's Josh, Sam, Jake, and then Danny is the drummer.
Okay. Jesus, I was way off.
Yeah, I don't know Andrew.
What the fuck?
I don't know Andrew.
Anyway, what's his name? Jake, you said? Or
no,
Josh?
Jake's a guitar player. Josh is the singer.
Lead singer. Yes.
Yeah.
That dude's amazing. And Rylan said in concert, he's fucking even better.
No, I've seen them 3 times now.
Yeah.
And yeah, he blows me away every time. Especially, I mean, like, I'm always amazed by instruments, right?
Sure.
But like now that I know, I'm kind of like, I'm familiar with singing now. So
sure.
Whenever I watch, like, I can really appreciate it.
Yeah.
You know, and he's one of the best I've seen live, and I've seen so many fucking bands live. And like I would say the majority of people who I've seen perform aren't even close to his level,
which is awesome.
And it's insane. It really is.
Yeah.
Like but also a lot of the bands I see are like
old
85
guys. Years
old.
Yeah.
You know,
old legends.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, still.
But you're right. I mean, like I always liked Led Zeppelin, but now when I listen to Led Zeppelin, I'm like, whew.
No,
dude,
me too.
That is insane. The stuff they do is fucking nuts.
Right.
But even like, so this morning I was listening. I've always liked Electric Love, the last song on your record, but for some reason today, when I heard it in succession, so like I listened to, let's see, I listened to Fear Your Lies, Shadow, Sparkle, Do the Eyes Sparkle. Like, I like how the album slows down now. Yeah. Like, I can really appreciate that. I'm not just like, okay, I know this song already, so I'm skipping through. But it's like, I like listen to it. Then I hear Natural Forces.
Yeah.
And then here comes Electric Love. And when it kicks back in after 2 songs of not having that kick in, and like, dude, like when I heard Electric Love today, I fucking cranked it. Because I was like, holy shit, dude. I think that song... There's a couple songs on the record, but that song, I think, for me, that might be the one that I'm most, like, in terms of how the record turned out, I'm most proud of how that record turned out.
Drums on that song sound amazing.
They fit the song so well.
I love it.
Yeah.
And
you can feel the kick drum and you can hear the snare.
That was the one
whack.
song too. Actually, I know exactly what you're talking about because a few days ago I had that exact I don't know if it's epiphany, but like that exact
feeling.
Like I listened to Electric Love again and I was like it's like I was alone, but it's almost like as if I was looking around, like, are you guys not like hearing this?
Yeah.
Like,
Holy shit.
Like it amazes because you don't even realize sometimes. You don't even like know until you just give some things a rest when you're in the moment.
I know.
And also when you're in the moment,
because it's different live now.
It is.
Yeah.
And it's really good live. I love that song. I feel like it.
And Thielen's kind of done his own thing. He's adopted his own rhythm,
Yeah, the chorus riffs are just fucking amazing.
They rip, dude.
And I don't like I'm not trying to like say anything of myself by this, but I'm really amazed at myself for coming up with that melody because for the chorus, because it's something that like it's something that I if it was someone else, I would think, how did they come up with that? It just came out of nowhere.
Dude. It's simple, but it's nice.
Well, it's like electric love coming down on me, that one nice touch of electricity, and then it goes, I have gotta find a way, and all that is just like
it
fits, but it's just just weird kind of though. But that it's such a counter to like the riffs and it just feels good. I think it
agreed.
The whole thing is just nice.
And I want to give you credit or whatever. I give you nod my hat to you for holding your ground, because during the production of that song, I pushed on more than one occasion for you to write or sing some sort of opening verse. I thought that song needed the bass line comes in, and then when the drums come in and the guitar riff comes in, I'm like, this needs a verse before the chorus comes in. And you're like, no, I don't think it does. I really don't. And I'm like, what the fuck? And at the end of the day, you were right. Because when I hear that song coming out of, in context of the album especially, coming out of the two slower songs, lower key songs, and then that hits, the chorus hits, it makes the chorus so big and so impactful. So and kudos to you for staying your ground.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. At the time, I strongly disagreed with you.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing with the team,
I know. It's back and forth.
Yeah.
Sometimes it works, or sometimes you give and sometimes you take.
Right.
Or whatever.
And
push and
that whole
pull.
album was that, I think.
Yeah.
Because not only for us, but I mean, you had a much bigger influence on that first album than you will on any other Future Strangers record. Right. But it was also your first rock project. So all of us, including yourself, were
learning.
Yep.
And we were using drums that the drummer was not here to fix or to give his input. So it was all what do we do?
And the three of us aren't drummers either,
Right. We just knew if something didn't sound right, we should change it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a little insight on Electric Love, we did some trickery. You cannot fucking tell at all that Electric Love, the way that the drums, are pieced. They're at least 2, maybe 3 takes pieced together to create what is now the drum track, which we laid all the additional instruments over top of. You can't tell.
Because the song structure of Electric Love in the demo recordings was much different than the final recording.
It was. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was the original longer, or it just had 2 breakdown sections?
It was. I don't even remember how it was. We have the demo, so we go back and listen at some point.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
But
I should go back and listen to some of them.
I want to listen.
What?
If you listen to the demo vocals, oh man.
Dude, that was your first time ever singing on a studio, in a mic.
And the weirdest feeling I remember was tempting to keep time, in the demo recordings, because
you were singing over a pre-recorded track, and
then getting the vocal mixed with the music in your headphones is so. I just didn't know what to ask for. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know how to handle anything. Yeah. And it was just kind of I'm messing up, and then everyone's just getting frustrated because I'm taking so long. But I'm like, I don't know how to do this, you know.
Right.
But now I really feel like I can go, and it might take a few tries to get the perfect performance, but I really feel like I can tackle it much more efficiently now.
Oh yeah, dude. You know? From the time that happened to the final, I don't even know was it Electric Love? Maybe that was the last track that we recorded together. Maybe.
No, I think it might have been Sweet Holly. Was the last one that we did.
Okay.
Well, at least vocals.
Okay.
And then.
Oh yeah, it was Sweet Holly because you came in.
Yeah.
And just knocked it out. You knew what you wanted, and like, we just fucking did it. And we already had a flow going. We knew what microphone set up, like how to set the preamps. Like we had everything kind of like ready at that point for you to like know what you wanted.
Right.
Versus when we first ever, dude, I didn't even know what the fuck I was doing when we did the demos. I still don't know really what I'm doing, but I'm getting a lot better results.
Yeah. Today. I want to say you mixed and mastered Miss Cocaine, correct? Alice the Dog song. I think you did a really good job on that.
Appreciate
and I know
that.
like the drums were...
They're fake.
Yeah.
Or not fake, but they're real, but they're fake.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah. But whatever, you know.
They're not fake, they're programmed.
Right.
Yes. Which happens a lot these days, by the way.
Programmed, could you briefly explain what you mean by programmed? Because I'm not really exactly sure what you're talking about.
Yeah. So the drummer, Zach, who's really, really good.
Yeah, he's a good drummer.
He's really good.
I like him a lot.
Yes. But when they brought this song in, he brought his drum kit and he's like, but he made a demo recording and he's like, he said, "Can I show you the demo drums?" And at first I'm like, no, like I don't give a shit about demo drums, like program drums, like digital drums that he made on his laptop. Who cares? But that was the demo that they had written the song to.
Okay.
So he brought that in, but he also brought his whole kit because I insisted that he bring his whole kit. Brought his whole kit. We set before we set everything up though. He's like, "Can I at least just play this for you?" He's like, he has something called Easy Drummer, which is a programming software where like you literally can select the drum kit that you want, and you go in there and you write all the drum parts in MIDI. So it's like you like create little dots on a grid that triggers the samples. So he's like, "Can I just show it to you?" I'm like, "Sure." So we pull it up on the monitors, I crank it, plays it, and I'm like, "Holy shit, this sounds real." Because this is the thing though, it takes, in my opinion, a real drummer to know how to make like digital drums, sampled drums, like what's called program drums. It takes a real drummer to know how to make those sound like a real drummer, because like he put in like it's the velocities and it's like the little like when to hit the bell on the ride versus when to hit the full body of it. So when he showed me it, I'm like, "Oh, this sounds real, dude." And it wasn't perfectly timed. It's like, and so we were like, let's just use these. And if we don't like it, we'll record real drums. But we ended up really liking it, so we stuck with those.
Which is super interesting to me because personally, I'm extremely passionate on keeping everything real. But to each their own. Like, that's not to put down anyone else. That's just the way I am
too when it comes to rock and roll. I want real drums. But in this case, I'm like, I don't think people are going to tell unless they know.
But that song is really good.
And it fits the song.
That song is good.
Yeah.
I feel like it's also based on like me seeing them live a few times, and I listened to their first record and stuff. I feel like that song's a little bit more them. I feel like it makes more sense for...
Which is funny, because when they brought it in, Jackson, their lead singer, he said, "I don't know how I feel about this track." He's like, "It's so different than what we're used to." But I think it's because they're finding new territory for themselves. Because it's got a I want to call it like a hyper real feel. You know what I mean? It's a little more not electronic, but it's got that feeling of it.
Well, like at first, whenever I first listened to Atlas the Dogs, I immediately thought like Chevelle and those kind of bands.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people say.
Right.
Soundgarden.
But
lead vocals.
The Miss Cocaine feels like different. New. You know, it feels like new. Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to tell them that.
So, well, hopefully they can just they'll listen to this.
I hope so.
Hopefully.
Yeah. But yeah, dude, I think that that's what it takes for every band. I would say the same with you guys now. Like, I don't really know. Some of the songs on your first record, I thought that they sounded like people, but now I really can't even tell you, what that was.
I also don't mean to say anything about this talking about myself again either,
Sure.
but I really don't know who I sound like. Like if someone says,
I don't
like,
either.
who do you, like they like say like compare yourself to another band or like another singer. I don't know who the fuck to say because like
we need to ask somebody
don't know.
else.
Right.
Like we need to ask somebody who doesn't know you.
Yeah. Well, like even the people I get compared to, like the bigger artists, like Perry Farrell from Jane's Addiction.
Okay.
I just don't think I really sound like him.
Damn, we already flew by an hour and a half. Or
Really?
an hour and 15 minutes.
Oh, wow.
That's the timer that says we got to wrap it up in a few minutes.
Okay.
Because I got something to do in a little bit. But
that's fine.
But anyway, let's keep going just for like a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But I agree. Other than there has been a couple times where I have heard this feeling where I'm like, holy shit, you kind of got like a Robert Plant meets somebody heavy.
Huh.
Only recently, though. This has only been super recently.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I listen to a lot of metal, which it has to influence me because I'm listening to it every day. Right.
Yeah.
But
and if you listen to Shadow, you hear a little bit of a growl and
right.
Shadow.
But in our new songs, though, I think a little bit more of that influence is sneaking in. But I like listening to metal where the singers don't sing like metal singers, right?
Yeah.
Well, they do in their own
growls, and you don't do any of that shit.
Right. I do.
Not
I do it
shit,
subtly, at least.
Yeah, I've learned to appreciate it a lot working with heavier bands. But
yeah, well, I've gotten into some bands like Spirit Box where there's a lot of that. But personally, my favorite metal bands that I listen to more frequently are like Metallica and like Megadeth.
Yeah,
Megadeth's probably my favorite band.
I know.
Their new album came out, and I keep trying
to account for a fourth of the streams.
No, they have 5 million monthly listeners now.
Holy fuck! I mean, why am I surprised? I don't know. I just didn't know Megadeth was that big.
Well,
because I don't know. You introduced me to Megadeth.
Yeah, but I love it.
And it is not my kind of music.
And their new record, you
love it.
There's 2 songs that I don't like. The rest of it, I'm just like, this is so fucking good. And I keep getting in the car and I don't know what, like, I'm like, I need to listen to something else. Like I'm going to burn out, but I can't. Like I just keep like, fuck, I just want to hear that one song again. Yeah. Cause I just love it. But I've also been waiting for this album for like 2 fucking years.
Okay.
Dude. And I'm
the COVID album. Everybody's releasing their COVID albums.
Dave Mustaine, the singer and lead guitar player or whatever, he announced the album and then they're going to go on tour with like Ozzy Osbourne or something. And then Ozzy Osbourne like canceled his whole tour like he has been for the past couple of years, It
sounds good to him. Then it gets close. He's like, I actually don't feel like fucking doing it.
Well, he has his own health problems, you know? Yeah. Ozzy does. But then Dave Mustaine, the singer, he got throat cancer. So that was a delay on the album. And
I didn't know that.
Yeah. But he's cancer free now.
Okay. And he's cancel free now, by the way, too. He hasn't canceled a show since.
Yeah, I don't think so, at least.
Yeah, I was just saying.
I don't really know.
Yeah.
But, yeah, and then COVID, of course, affects everything, So there are some delays, which makes total sense.
But it builds the anticipation.
It did. And I think the album is... Because it was worrying me, too, because it's like, man, if this album isn't fucking amazing, then it's gonna be bad.
All the wait was
because
not
the anticipation for like the metal and community or just the Megadeth community was so high that but it's good. I like it a lot.
Good.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, and something I was gonna say right before that was like talking about how I don't know what to compare your first record to.
Yeah.
But your new stuff with Thielen on the drums, like I feel like you guys have really like. And I mean this in the most loving, most respectful, most honest way. Like you guys have closed the first chapter of your career, which was Noah on the drums and Thielen playing Noah's songs. You still play all those songs because they're your original works, but I just mean
we probably will still,
yes,
throughout our whole career,
right?
We'll probably throw in Sweet Holly or something,
right? Or Electric Love and shit, But the new music that you're writing and that is coming out is like a whole nother thing. And I love it.
But
I love it.
It's still...
It's still The Strangers,
The
though.
Strangers, yeah.
It is for sure.
But
I mean, it's 3 out of 4 of the originals, so.
I'm so excited to have something fresh with, like just something new. Like I want, like I want people to listen to it and be like, yeah.
But dude, this is what's cool. I don't know if any of you have really recognized this, because I was talking to Rylan, and Rylan, I could just tell he's like getting angsty. He's like, I just want to put out new music and all this shit.
Me
and I'm
too.
like, yeah, of course, everybody, like, that's always so exciting. But I'm like, but you guys are in a great position. From the outside looking in, you guys are in a great position, because you're about to play the biggest show of your careers, your dream show. You should set a new goal after this, by the way, so you have something bigger. It's like you want to be on the DW circuit or something. I don't know, but you have.
I have a few goals already.
Okay, cool. But after this big show in Louisville at the end of the month, whoever sees you there, like if you get noticed and somebody wants to work, like somebody bigger wants to take you guys on, you have literally a second record in your back pockets, ready to be produced, like ready to be made. You know what I mean?
Basically, which is so we want
essentially, I should say, yeah.
I'll go ahead and say this, because like at our level, it doesn't really matter to be like too cryptic or like tease things, But I'd say we have I don't really know, 5, 6, 7 songs done, right?
Yeah. New songs.
But it feels like it still needs some more elements, at least to me, like C# song, that it doesn't have yet. Yeah. So before we actually record I think we're going to call it The Way I See It.
Yeah, that's fine.
But
in parentheses, just put C# minor.
Yeah. So I think if we still need to write more, but allowing time for that too, because
you guys have been busy, man.
Yeah, really fucking busy.
Yeah. You're a grassroots organization.
Yeah. I even just took a break from school entirely.
Did you?
Yeah. I took a full semester off at least.
Maybe the rest of the year. All right.
Every day pretty much it's been wake up. Okay, what can I do to improve? Like it's either I got to go get t-shirts sold, or I got to, answer some emails, or I got to figure out things for our new website and things for our new online store,
or band practice
or band practice, or sometimes there's the mood to write lyrics, so I just write lyrics.
And dude, okay, hold on, we're gonna have to wrap this up, but I want in the not so, maybe after your big show, if you have time, I want to do this again, because I literally have 6 questions that are all about songwriting and your history and a bunch of other shit that we didn't even talk about today.
It's going to be a 3-hour Joe Rogan episode.
Literally, dude, we didn't even get into songwriting or any of that shit.
I'm going to be totally honest. Okay. I need to get better at having conversations, because I just my brain just starts going, and whenever I get in these moods, I'm like, I hope Wes understands who he's having on this podcast.
Yes, I know you
because I don't know how good I am at podcast talking, because I just talk and I my mind just rolls, and then
I think you did a great job today.
Well, thank you. Thank
it was
you
interesting, and we have but it's an exciting time, so there's a lot of interesting shit to talk about, the show going on, new shit happening, so it was fun.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Hold on, before you leave, I do want to do this. There's a segment at the end I called Don't Think, Just
I've been excited for this.
Okay. So I'm going to rifle off 10 terms and or items or names, and you just tell me the first thing that comes to mind.
Okay.
Okay. Megadeth.
Nice.
Hot tea with honey.
Feels right.
Yeah. Ritual.
Yeah.
You that's the thing. Most memorable stranger moment so far.
The first thing came to mind is all of them, but let's just think of something a little bit better. There was a moment in the there's been a couple of these moments.
Okay.
But there was a moment in the at least this is the most memorable right now, I guess, in the Noah Benefit concert, when we were performing one of our new songs called Goodbye, that was the first time I legitimately felt emotional. Like my eyes started getting tears. And I felt emotional other times, but I mean, this is like real emotion. Like this felt so connected to the music, you know? And I was like getting teary eyed, and I was, you know,
that's beautiful.
And almost like you can almost hear my voice, but I don't think I haven't been able to hear a recording from it, but that was something else.
Awesome.
You know?
That's a good answer.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's personal too. I like that.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Okay. Favorite album all time? What came to mind?
Okay. I go more based on like genre. So my favorite metal album all time, Megadeth's Rust in Peace. It's pure goodness.
How many albums ago was that?
It was in the 90s. It came out in the 90s.
Okay.
So a while ago.
Okay.
And then
give me a rock album.
I used to love Appetite for Destruction. I thought it was the best thing ever. But I haven't listened to it in a while.
Guns N' Roses.
Yeah. So now I think like, you know, there's the Zeppelin, like Zeppelin 3. I love Zeppelin 3. You know,
it's a great one.
Some good, really
all
good
Zeppelin records are really
good. Black Sabbath Volume 4. I love that record too.
Black Sabbath's first record. I maybe it was just called Black Sabbath, but I've listened to that one maybe 10 times in the last year. That's a great fucking record.
It is
Early
really, it is
Sabbath.
really cool.
It reminds me kind of
really
of
like
you
it
guys,
that much, but now I do.
Yeah, it reminds me sort of The Strangers a little bit. Okay, favorite song all time?
I don't know.
Favorite 2 songs, 3 songs?
I don't know anymore.
What's a song that you really like?
Holy Wars, Megadeth.
Okay. Okay. Astra Theater.
Nothing shy of absolutely fucking insane.
Okay. Wally.
See, like, you can't ask me Wally because I listen to Rylan's and I'm just like Opus, you know?
I know. I was scared to put that because I was like, I wanted to ask similar ones. So I was like, I don't want to.
For some reason, the name Richard comes to mind.
Richard?
I don't know why.
Dick?
No,
It's short
just
for
Richard.
Okay, that's fine. Idol.
Billy.
Okay. Strangers album number 2.
Seductive.
Coming soon, we all hope. Sharing the same stage as Alice in Chains.
Meaningful.
Which I do. When I wrote that question, I didn't know the meaning. Or I didn't recognize the meaning. So I know it now, and that's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
You know, I hope I get to meet the guys. Who knows?
I do too.
Who knows?
I do too. All right. Hey, thank you so much. I'm so proud of you guys.
Well, thank you
I
so
feel
much.
like when I'm there on Sunday, September 25th, watching you guys, I feel like it's kind of like a high school football coach who goes to a college game and sees their star players playing the fucking against the big dogs, and like it just seems like such a big deal, and you guys deserve so much credit for getting yourselves there. Like, I'm honored to have helped in some ways, but like at this point, I feel like you guys are on a rocket headed up, and I'm just happy to have helped be the Elon Musk to build it and light the motherfucker.
No, I'm serious. Like, I think about this decently frequently.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I often wonder where the fuck we would have been if you hadn't like just came in and kick-started, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I just think like it was another thing. It was supposed to happen,
dude. Absolutely.
Because like think about it's another thing. It put you on your own path too. I feel like
it did.
And look at this. Like, you just look around this room. We're at Wally Opus Studios right now.
Yeah.
And it's just like it's another stem from it's this. It just goes to show how much of an impact it really has had on, like, I guess impact technically is the right word, but whatever.
No, it has on all of us.
Yeah, but like whatever. My English teacher went through this whole thing one time where impact is not the right word to use, because impact is like, like a punch,
Right.
And
effect, influence, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever the impact. Yeah. Whatever the left, whatever. Yes.
Yeah. Impact is fine to use to this situation.
Right.
I just had to correct myself because my English teacher drilled it in my freaking brain. Like, and then we had a whole argument of like, no, actually the meaning of words change. So it is fine to use. And he's like, well, so whatever.
Yes. Yeah. But you're right, dude. I remember when Rylan first texted me, because that was my girlfriend at the time, who's now my wife.
Yeah.
Her cousin, who was played guitar in a band, and he texted me, hey, do you record bands? I'm like, I just moved back from LA. I'm like, I didn't even own any microphone. I mean, I had like 2 microphones and they were not worth recording. I'm like, well, I really don't know how, but I could like figure it out. And then I went to the jam room and heard you guys play for the first time, this tiny little fucking box. Heard you guys play. It was so loud, but it was great. I was like, yes, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I want to help, man.
I get a little emotional.
Talk. You just did it.
Yeah. I get a little emotional thinking about this. I remember that first memory. And this actually, I might take back what I said about the most, the best moment. When I first walked into that jam room, I sat in there, I looked, you look around and I felt, this is real life rock and roll. You go in that fucking building.
There's roaches. The toilet doesn't work.
It felt like I was in like
shit and cigarettes.
1980s. Like
yeah.
It felt like there should be a guy over there shooting up heroin and the rats crawling around with coke, off Shipper's ass or something. Like
right.
Like it was like just crazy.
Who knows what the people next door are doing?
And it felt like
there's guns.
We were.
There's not.
Yeah, and my mom.
Fuck, I don't know.
I remember like going home and I was like, I'm not telling my mom any of this because it feels so fucking cool. But like, if she knew, she'd probably be like, "You were not,"
because you're like a junior in high school or a senior. Like you're like a young guy.
And Noah found that place, and he was like sharing a room with like someone else. So we only had to pay like $30 a month because like we were sharing that room with 2 other people.
Yeah, and their shit was in the corner, which they never really used it.
No, so we just got really lucky at first, but then it started getting, we got a new room and everything was small room, more expensive, and that bathroom is probably the most disgusting in America. I'm not even kidding. Like it's where you can 100% safe to say like you're better off not washing your hands. Like
yes, yeah, that's true.
It's 100%.
Shitting outside, like just take shit outside.
If someone's shit in that toilet, they literally put signs: "Do not fucking shit in that bathroom. Use your toilet at home." Like the owners would get so pissed. Like we can't
dude,
flush.
It would just sit in there. No. There's no flushing.
But if you sat on that toilet, you're guaranteed to get STDs or some shit, like fucking malaria or something. Ebola. Dude. Like the damn thing, like that place is disgusting. But and you walk in that that hallway smelled so bad, but once you got in your rooms you didn't really notice it. Like looking back, all that though just kind of like
that's it.
It was its own vibe.
Dude, watch the documentary. The first scene of the documentary is me filming the walls saying, I gotta capture this for the Strangers documentary one day. And like I hope to God that sticks around, that people recognize, like, dude, do you remember one time? God damn it. I do have to go in a sec. But do you remember that one time that lady came down the hall and chewed Noah's ass?
Were you there?
I was there. What? I was standing there, yeah.
James was there.
No? Did she do it on multiple occasions?
I guess she had to.
He might have been there when I was there too, but
there was a time when James came over and jammed, and this lady like walks in there and was like, "Can you sell me some weed?" And Noah's like, "Well, like no, basically."
No, this wasn't. Yeah, this was a different time.
Okay, I don't even know what time you're necessarily talking about then, but then she was like, she was getting very upset, like, I will do things for you. Like, if you're ever in trouble, you just say my name. And like, I will be there for you and you won't even give me weed.
She wanted to smoke that bad.
But we were like, but Noah was like, what do you want me to do? I can't give you weed. Like,
I don't fucking have any weed.
Yeah. Like, what do you want me to do? Right.
Yeah.
And, but that was part of it too. Being around like some people that are like, I know, interesting personalities.
Dicey, dude. You didn't know. Yeah, very colorful people like that. But one time she came in, she was like down the hall, but she just chewed Noah's ass. You're playing behind the beat. If you're gonna be in a band, you gotta like, dude. Just and we're all like, what the fuck is she doing? We don't even know this lady.
No, she was like judging us. And Noah, who at the time was like, we all were like, we were all just like, Noah's so fucking good. So like, for her to come in like during that specific performance, I remember he like dropped his drumsticks at one point. He was like hitting it with one, with one hand.
Yeah.
And then she comes in and she's like, you're like, you don't even know.
If you're gonna take this serious, like blah, blah, blah.
But dude, I'm just gonna say some of the Evansville bands are pretty good, but some of those bands that she was playing on her little cassette recorder or whatever the fuck it was, saying like holding them to some pedestal, we're like, okay, I don't think her opinion's very valid.
Right.
You know?
Right. Yes, agreed. So on that note,
the jam room was fucking awesome.
Epic, dude. And a lot of Evansville bands can credit the jam room with being an epic place.
That's the place, That's all. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, I don't know if I'm even allowed to give it away the location because it's like,
nah, don't even give it away. Just say what it is.
But it was a place where all this place is for bands. So they took this
it's an old office building.
Yes.
Yeah.
But they sectioned off the rooms with drywall and shit.
Yeah.
They threw a couple outlets in each room. And then bands will go and rent out a space for a practice space. So
like
you don't have to practice,
at
your mom's basement or something.
Yeah.
And it was like $130 a month, $100 a month, some shit like that.
It's so loud.
And so you walk in there and you write your schedule on the door. Bands try to do different schedules, right? So you don't play the same. But like
everybody's always stealing each other's heaters and
it's all rock and metal bands too.
Yeah.
There's no like
hip hop or
no, there's none of that. No. Which I mean, they wouldn't really need it anyways. But
right, they got their bedroom. But
yeah, and the guys that would run that place were just like their own people too. You know, so the whole vibe was just screamed rock and roll. And in Evansville, there's not much. There's like not places like that. No, it's not like where you're.
You need those places.
Yeah.
As crazy as they are, they're so vital to the scene,
so
the small little scene that we have.
It's so inspiring, and the amount of lyrics that came up in that a lot
of your original like set lists and records like written song lists written on the side of the wall there,
and like some of the. And I think like a lot of like the more deeper meaningful stuff from like what I was thinking about at the time was influenced by the vibe of the jam room. Like whenever it comes to like Goon or something like that, it felt like I was at the jam room. Whenever I sing that song, it feels like I'm back at the jam room. When I was at the jam room, it felt like that I was supposed to say based on the setting that I was in,
Yeah.
So
a lot of the work, all of the work really came out of that. I remember hearing Sweet Holly for the first time there. It wasn't finished, but it was like the riff.
Yeah. I remember you being there too, and Noah couldn't make us at practice.
Yeah.
We were just kind of showing you some shit because you just came by.
I liked that one.
And Sweet Holly was. I remember that same day too.
Yeah.
And then I think the only other time that I really distinctly remember working on it was when we were at Rylan's house doing those demos. And then we're like,
that's basically when we worked on it. Yeah.
Done.
And it happened.
Crazy.
That was so exciting.
It's such a good song too.
Yeah.
It really is.
That's like the beauty of it. It happened fast.
Yeah.
In the live version, I think I might have said this on Rylan's podcast. The live version, I love it now too.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I like the record, but I like the live version too now.
Yeah.
And because it's somewhere filled out and the intro's cool as fuck. You guys are a great band.
I have a little thing I like to say sometimes when the time is right.
This little girl.
Yeah.
Sweet Holly. All right, Lucas, thank you for doing this.
You're welcome.
Fucking leave it all out on the stage at Louder Than Life. We'll be there rooting you on. Somewhere in the crowd, hopefully on the stage. We'll see what happens. You never know. But we'll see.
Hopefully I don't fall off.
Yes. God, no. Please.
I feel like something probably happened, but it's supposed to.
That's right. All right. Lucas Washington from The Strangers. And you can catch Lucas, or you can find him on Instagram. He's got his own Instagram. He's on The Strangers Instagram all the time.
Yeah.
Catch him in a city near you.
That's right.
Or in Louisville on September 25th. All right. Everybody have a great week or a great weekend. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Goodbye.